The new development bank was a direct challenge to the West. In this third episode of this series on BRICS, Challenging the West, we shall find out why. With the World Bank and the IMF firmly in the grip of the Western societies, could the BRICS countries rewrite the rules of the global economic order, which has been in place for the last 7 decades or so? The New Development Bank, or NDB, was established in 2014 by the BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, as an alternative to Western-led financial institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. For decades, these institutions had been criticized for their loan conditionalities, which often forced countries into austerity and economic dependency. BRICS nations envisaged the NDB as a fresh start, a bank designed to prioritize the development needs of the Global South without the strings attached. The initial capital, a staggering $50 billion, shared equally among its founding members. This equal shareholding was in fact a statement that no one country would dominate the institution, unlike the US-centric World Bank or the European-led IMF. What makes the NDB different from the other banks? There are at least 3 factors. Number 1, the NDB focuses on infrastructure and sustainable development and projects which are really required by the emerging economies. The NDB has funded projects in renewable energy, transportation, and urban development, all tailored to the priorities of emerging economies. Number 2, there are no political conditions. Unlike the Western financial institutions, the NDB does not impose any political reforms as a prerequisite for loans. This has made it especially attractive to countries which are wary of external interference. And number 3, local currency usage. A groundbreaking feature is its emphasis in lending in local currencies, which reduces borrower nations' dependency on the US dollar and shields them from currency volatility. The NDB's first projects included solar power plants in India, sustainable water projects in Brazil, and transportation initiatives in Russia. But it wasn't just about funding. It was about shifting the balance of power. But the road hasn't been smooth. First, unlike the World Bank, which boasts nearly 190 members, the NDB's membership is still small, although it is expanding to include countries like UAE, Egypt, and Bangladesh, and presumably the newer partner countries would also become members in this bank.
The BRICS alliance has officially expanded by adding 13 new nations as partner countries.
However, the BRICS members have made it clear that this capital will be expanded. For expanding this war chest is vital for greater influence. Number 3, geopolitical pressure. The Russia-Ukraine conflict and the US-China tensions tested the unity of BRICS members, and this has somewhat complicated the NDB's mission. Despite these hurdles, the NDB represents an ambitious attempt to level the playing field. The establishment of the NDB sent shockwaves through the Western financial institutions. Realizing that the NDB could become an important player, the World Bank and the IMF began rethinking their strategies, now offering more flexible terms to retain their relevance. Number 2, with the NDB pushing for local currency loans, the Western powers have doubled down on the dollar's supremacy, fearing its erosion would undermine their global influence. Number 3, the West has also intensified its engagement with emerging economies, offering alternative funding mechanisms to counter BRICS' appeal. The NDB may not have dethroned the World Bank, but it is certainly reshaping the narrative about global finance and the global financial architecture. So clearly, the BRICS Bank has got the attention of the World Bank and the IMF. So what's next for the BRICS Bank? First, it has to expand the membership by including more countries from the Global South. Only then the NDB can grow its influence and resources. And number 2, The NDB's focus on sustainable development could position itself as a leader in green financing. Number 3, there is an urgent need to strengthen BRICS unity. In order to truly challenge Western dominance, the BRICS nations must overcome internal divisions and present a unified front. The new development bank is more than just a bank. It's a symbol of hope for a multipolar economic world. Whether it can fulfill that promise will depend on its ability to adapt and innovate in the face of Western resistance. The new development bank has shaken the foundations of global finance. If this episode intrigued you, please do not miss episodes 1 and 2 of this series, BRICS, Global Power Bloc. In episode 1, we traced the origins of BRICS, and in episode 2, we discussed the strategic approach taken by BRICS in expansion. Watch both episodes to see how these threads connect. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and share and subscribe the video too. And if you're watching episode 1 and 2, please look out for episode 4, where we discuss how BRICS overcame its biggest test yet. Thank you very much.